Hi, my name is Marwa Alkhairo. I'm here in Tunisia, standing in an area called Marsa La Plage, in La Marsa in Tunis. So I've been here since July. I came as an election observer with the Carter Center. I am based in the northwest and in Benzert. Those are the areas that I'm responsible for during my time here. I occasionally come to Tunis for meetings and debriefings. Of course, I'm speaking to you at a time where the elections just took place on the 23rd of October. It was this amazing opportunity for the Tunisian people to express their voices, to express their vote for the first time for many of them. In ages, ever in their lifetime, and it was a fantastic opportunity to be a part of these people's historic day, historic moment. I'm currently here because I had some work to do, and I'll be returning back to the northwest this evening. Tunisia is a fantastic country. It's diverse in every single way possible. When you're in Tunis itself, you see the coast, you see the beautiful sea, you see the Mediterranean coming out. But in the northwest, which is the unexplored part of the country that I encourage anyone and everyone to go to, you see all these historical hidden wonders that are fantastic as you're driving through different rural areas, as you're driving through old cities. You see beautiful ancient Roman ruins and Ottoman ruins and Carthaginian ruins, and it's a fantastic part of the country. It's also fantastic because you see this diversity of Tunisia that you wouldn't automatically realize if you just go to Susa or Hammamat, or perhaps maybe the typical tourist areas that one thinks of when coming to Tunisia. You see the rural part, the actual true part of Tunisia, the real Tunisia that I think people need to see and explore and really appreciate. I encourage anyone who ever comes to Tunisia to go to the Northwest. I'm going to call myself the ambassador of the Northwest if that's possible.
Well, Marwa, let me just, so for people who will see this, and a lot of people who will, when you're talking about the Northwest, just so they understand, you're talking about Northwest Tunisia.
Northwest Tunisia, of course.
But you bring in a very interesting perspective as one who's talking about Tunisia. Tell us a little bit about your own background, and you've lived in many places, and you have an interesting background. So this will also help people who watch this understand why you feel what you're saying about Tunisia.
Okay, definitely. Of course, like Jerry said, the Northwest is these four areas that are called Beja, Siliana, Jandouba, and Dalkaf. Also responsible for another area called Benzet, which is the northest point of Tunisia, but not only Tunisia, of Africa itself. It's not too far away from Sicily, so that brings its own diversity in that country. For me, I've previously lived in Lebanon as well, so I guess I could, and I'm originally from Iraq. I grew up going to Iraq all the time with my family, and I've traveled throughout the Middle East. So but when I first came to Tunisia, I was feeling, I'm just going to be in an Arab country like I am like when I'm in the Middle East, whether Lebanon or Syria or Iraq, for example. But here, the diversity of Tunisia, the diversity of the Arab world really comes out in Tunisia. You would think that I'm going to operate as I operate in the Middle East, but what's fascinating is that people always want to generalize Arab world. People always want to generalize Arab countries. People always want to put them under this one umbrella. But what you see is there's no such thing as being able to generalize the Arab world in any sense. Here, you see this amazing fascination, this amazing appreciation of Arab, what's Arab and what's Islamic, but you also see this long-lasting influence of a Francophone culture, and they're integrating together. This makes Tunisia very unique in a particular way that you're not going to be able to see, let's say, in Jordan, for example, or in Egypt, for example. This diversity is fascinating, and it makes you appreciate the Middle East and North Africa in a completely different way. And of course, you also start to see these differences culturally and politically, and in people's day-to-day discussions with you and their perspectives, and it's just something that I think you can only see once you come here. And I think people would be at a loss if they don't come here and see this different type of diversity. For example, I don't think we can compare countries. I think we can compare to a certain extent, but I think the experiences of each are phenomenal in their own regard. And I also feel the experiences of every part of this country are amazing. Now when I'm here in Tunis itself, I feel that I'm in a different country than when I go back to the Northwest. And I think this is what's beautiful about this country. I think it's what's beautiful about the world in general, is this appreciation of the different diversity that exists.
Well, when you also made the comment people should come here, and I know that from our conversations you've remarked about the alerts that are on the American Embassy website. How would you describe to someone you've been living in different parts of Tunisia, small towns, you're a woman who's been traveling around. Tell us about what your any concerns you had about safety and how what you've read on the American Embassy website jives with what Americans should think about when coming here.
Of course, I appreciate the State Department's, worry to want to protect its people and its citizens, and that's something that, of course, you want to respect. You would rather be safe than sorry. However, I wasn't scared at all to come here. I definitely don't think there's any security issue in any way. Of course, in any country, there's always, even like a fight breaks out between people. This is very normal. You're going to see problems wherever you go. I've been very safe. I felt very secure. I felt great. I didn't register on the American Embassy website, which maybe I should have, but I didn't. And that's because it's a wonderful people. They have a wonderful temperament. I mean, it's fascinating. This testimony about the elections on the 23rd, it ran smoothly. It ran amazingly. I'm talking from a very security perspective. There were no security concerns. There were no security issues. People went, they cast their vote, they went back home, and it was fine. And I think that's a testament to the temperament of the Tunisian people and the ability for there to it's just a very calm area. I definitely wouldn't think that security is a problem here in Tunisia. No. Or anywhere.
Well, thank you for sharing. You certainly seem like you've gotten the Tunisian bug now having
I have
come
the
here.
Tunisian bug.
And any parting thoughts for Americans who might like to see this, or also Tunisians who will very likely see this video?
I speak to Tunisians first because we're in Tunisia. I think Tunisians, they must go around and see the rest of their country. They must appreciate the beauty of their country and see the diversity in their country. Now at such an opportune time that the elections happen, they need to be able to explore every single bit of it so that they know how their country can develop, so that they know how they can come together and bring very, amazing, different, diverse parts of their country together in order to create a prosperous future Tunisia. And to Americans, and not only to Americans, to any foreigners outside of Tunisia, this is an amazing country, another testimony to the diversity of the Arab world. Before generalizing Arab world, Islamic world, Muslim world, whatever, different categorizations people have been putting on this part of the earth, on this part of the world, come experience it yourself, live it yourself, see it yourself, learn for yourself, and go away from, these like great little, articles that want to write about the Arab world, for example, and experience it so that you see how amazing the diversity is here, so that you see how amazing people can be, especially when you become exposed to them on a day-to-day basis.
Well, Marwa, thank you for taking the time to chat with us and tell people
pleasure.
a little bit. And we want you to continue to enjoy your stay here in Tunisia, and lots of good luck to you.
Thank you.